This is Richard back at you. We got Jaime's 2005 Chevy in here, Z71 four-wheel drive. We're going to be going through the transmission, and I believe we're going to be going through the transfer case. We're waiting on him to call us back. So he lost the 3/4 clutch in this thing, no third gear at all. Lost overdrive, fluid's really dark. So let's get this thing apart. Doesn't look like it's ever been apart. It's a factory tranny, it looks like. Factory GM converter. It's got a TMBX, that's how we identify them. They'll have different TMBC, just different numbers here. That's how you identify them. So you can see the fluid's really dark. Okay. Now we're going to be doing a little old school today. We want to get the feel of the air again, just a little bit. Find all my stuff here. Excuse me. Now we're going to go ahead and get the shifter linkage and stuff off here first. And then we're going to take a small file and we're going to pull off the edge right there when they tied it down so tight it flares it to where we can't get this switch off. So we want to take that off. You always want to push your file forward. You don't ever want to drag it back. People don't realize a file works one direction. So there you go, got that. And we'll come over here and get our 13. And let me see, go over here and get it. Oh, there it is, sorry. I'm going to take this off gently. This is a high dollar neutral safety switch here. We don't want to break it. But you want to just file that off right there. If you don't, you'll pull this center out right here and destroy this switch. So it's about $75 to $100 switch. You dang sure don't want to mess it up. So going to use a little bit of air today. Want to satisfy both sides of the TV, or both sides of my viewers, basically, what I'm saying. Sometimes it's just nice for a change. Nothing wrong with old school, guys. You just want to make sure you get these bolts, or this torque socket all the way down in there. If there's any dirt or anything like that, clean it out. Because you don't want to strip one of them out and have to get in there with a chisel and try to get that out of there. So, removable bell housing. And we have our lockup O-ring right here. Really hard, incensed into the groove, really deep. I don't remember. Do you remember how many miles was on this, Peyton, when you wrote that down on the ticket? I know you did the computer check on it. Actually, we're teaching Peyton on how to run all the scanners and stuff like that. That way, when I say, hey, Peyton, go make a ticket out on the truck, go do a computer check on it, she'll be able to do all that and download it, print it out, and stuff like that. So, how old are you, Peyton?
Almost 13.
Almost 13 years old. Drives a junior dragster. She's got a little, not a little sister, but a little cousin. How old is she?
9.
9 years old. She drives a junior dragster too. So we're trying to teach these girls really young on how to do this stuff. They love making money. They love spending it too, though, believe me. But they love making it. So, but no, we're trying to teach them all at a very young age. That's where it's at. Morals, just everything about it. Yes, sir, no, sir, ma'am, all that type of stuff. Our kids know it all. So very respectful kids. So. Excuse me, young lady. I'm going to get right here for a second. Like I say, this is just her third time of filming. But she said she really enjoys doing it, so I think she's just probably going to keep doing it. So, freeze up Trent a little bit, stuff like that, while Trent's out there putting a 6-speed in a late model Camaro. stall converter and all that type of stuff, getting ready for the flashlight shootout here in Amarillo. So we're trying to get all that done too. Now this doesn't have a Corvette servo, it's just a stock servo. On this one here, I'm not for sure. We'll check into it and see what they're actually doing with the vehicle to see if we're going to put a Corvette servo in there. Now we are going to put the wide bands and all that type of stuff in here no matter what. So you can see this old pan is just beat all to heck. Big old dents here. We don't know what they're really doing with this thing. So we got other pans out there we'll put on here. Nothing wrong with the stock pan. Stock pan works really good. They hold extra fluid. You know, if we get an early model in here, we'll actually put a late model filter on it, put a late model pan just to help the customer out because we have hundreds of them back there. So make sure that wasn't busted. I thought that neck was busted off there, but we'll save all of our fluid. Winter's almost over. We hope. We had a blizzard come through here, but we're sure hope it's just about gone. We're ready for summer and going to the lake. So this is what that looked like, Peyton, in your earlier video when we pulled the tranny out. Didn't change a bit, did it? Still looks just as bad as it did.
Yes, it does.
Really nasty. So. And they serviced this before they brought it to us, so you can imagine what it looked like before they serviced it. Now we have our PWM solenoid here. That. We have our 3-2 downshift solenoid here. I actually got a GM question. I ain't ever figured this out, guys. I got to ask this question. If you got the answer, I want you to tell me, because I do not know the answer to this. It's kind of crazy. Every solenoid on this tranny, I can pop the clip out and get the clip out. So basically, when I take this solenoid off, I pull the clip out and take it off. That 3/4 solenoid, the clip is put in backwards. It's put in from the bottom out. So basically, to change this solenoid right here, you got to pull the valve body. Why did they not put that clip in from the bottom where you can just pop that clip out just like this? No sense at all. There's no logic to it. I don't have a clue. I had a customer come in this morning tell me he has a 3/2 downshift solenoid code, and he wanted to know if he could change it without pulling the valve body, and I told him, nope. I said, now when I build all my trannies back, I said, I do put that clip back in from the bottom. If something happens, we can change it, because nowadays these new solenoids, you put them in, you're taking a big chance on all that type of stuff. So you got to be able to pull the clip, pull the solenoid out, change it without having to pull the valve body. We just ain't got time for that type of stuff. So. So you always double seal your bolts. You know, we do have an O-ring on the bolt. Change your O-ring, but always still put a little bit of silicone on that bolt. That way you know that that thing is not going to leak. So, kind of turn this a little bit. Can you see everything, Peyton? Time summer's up, guys, she's going to be the best cameraman on the world. The camera lady in the world. Not cameraman, but camera lady. There you go. Like I say, we got our 3 L-shaped bolts here. We got our longer pillow switch bolts here. We got our short bolts here on the bottom. And then we have our standard bolts here that all 10 millimeters, all the same length. So pretty simple on the bolts. Of course, our pillow switch here. I mean, this tranny's so nasty, there ain't nothing going to stay in it. I mean, all the electronics will be gone. wiring harness, just everything about it. But you can imagine what it's going to take to clean this tranny up when you looked in the pan. I mean, people wonder why Richard wants you to do videos, because that's why. You're going to stand here for an hour watching me clean all this stuff. And sometimes it gets irritating because there's just so much cleaning. If you didn't have to clean, you could have the tranny built in a couple hours. But by the time you clean it, put on the bushings and do everything. So we got our forward accumulator piston out, our spring and valve. Now this is a plastic piston. We're going to update it to the aluminum one. Plastic's okay, but man, I tell you, these pistons are $1.50. You know what I mean? So. Of course, you know the lockup valve's probably not going to be messed with here. It's just going to be stock stuff, and it is. So we'll take care of that and block that valve. It's probably going to be the later version, like I put the check balls in, but we'll pop it out of there real quick and see. I don't want to get you messy here, Peyton, so. Okay. Now if you get over here, if you look at this, it's back to the same deal. You put, let me get a couple balls real quick and do this one more time for you guys. Here we go again. I'm going to drop a check ball in there. I'm going to put a check ball in here. I'm going to take this spring, put it right back in there where it come from. I'm going to put that in there. You see how that looks? Check ball in here, got your spring. You're going to slide it all the way in. Just like that. Now if you notice here, see how you see this wear on this plug right here? If you turn this one over this way, there's no wear. It's all normal all the way around. Your sealing, this plug needs a seal here, not here. So you need to flip this around, put the good side here. That way it's going to seal again like a good surface. But you're going to have to come in here. Now this is sticking out just like that. It's spring loaded. You're going to have to come in here with a screwdriver and push that in. You didn't see that, but it went right in. I just pushed real hard, pushed the clip in, and it's perfect. The valve, it's blocked. Real simple. You always want to look in here for any wear, any type of scarring or anything like that. So, find my magnet. Come here, Peyton. Look at these check balls. You can see all this stuff here. Like I say, she's learning. She's going to get this down really quick. You got one. Oops. Well, there's one there, there, and there. Now you notice we do have some wear on the plate right here where the check ball was running. Now that can be repaired. The rest of them look really good. Now you notice here we have a round hole, square hole gasket. That's where it needs to be too. Now we get our 1-2 accumulator here. And 2 springs. Now this has a plastic piston. Excuse me, we'll be putting a long stem style aluminum. Get rid of the plastic. So, we're getting our plate here. You notice here it says valve body. In the hole it says case. Both sides, round hole, square hole. So, don't want to get that mixed up, guys. Real simple. And then we have our 4th gear accumulator right here. Same way. Now we're going to be blocking this off with another new piston. We tow the spring away. Space it up about 40 thousandths. Get it, when we put it together, what we're going for is to stack this up flush. Once we get them in here, we want this top piston to be flush with the case right here. So. So always check in here for fluid. You see it was totally dry, still in really good connector. We can take this switch off here, put a fit all solenoid on the end of it, still have a nice connector. So, and then we're going to get our manual linkage here. Now they make 2 different links on these things, so be careful. If you ever lose it, don't go get a long one. 406E's all take the short one. 700s take the long ones. So you got to be really careful there. And then we're going to get over our parking mechanism right here. Walks right in park. So you got to put it in park like that. That way you can get in here and get to this bolt anyway. Like that. And then you can see your parking lugs down there that falls in there. And that won't move. So if you ever put it in park rolling, you'll hear it go. That's that noise you're hearing right there. So. And we got our 13 vein pump. Gonna look for any wear here. Factory aluminum bushing, Babbitt bushing, same way here. We'll go back with a wide bushing here, wide bushing here. Anytime, make sure if it had a wide bushing in it, it does. Our bushing kits will come with 2 bushings for right there. It'll come with a wide and a narrow. We always put the wide. It'll go either direction. You don't want to put the narrow because the converter's heavier, just everything about it's heavier, and that's why they did that, for better support. Wider bushing here. So, I'm going to get in here and look at the stator here. Look for any wear on both sides. You got a filter suction side, pump side, so if you get any wear from here to here, then you irritate your filter suction, it doesn't work. Now, also, anytime you buy a pump kit and you put it in, some of them will come with extra paddles, some of them might be short of paddle. If you take and put this train together with 1 paddle missing, like that, you opened up an air gap in between here and here. Now on the pressure gauge, you're going to see the gauge do this like crazy. I mean, just bang, 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 because it's trying to suck, build pressure, suck, build pressure. So don't leave one of them out. It's real simple to do. I mean, and either one you leave out, if you left this one out or that one out, it doesn't matter. Just one of these you left out, it leaves a big enough gap from here to here. On either one you do, it doesn't matter. So. This thing's really actually pretty nice. Still got a lot of bluing here on the pump slide. Now this is a cone style single spring. You can put a dual back in there and it'll be fine. You can even go with a single back the other direction. But that pump slide looks really nice. You don't see a lot of that. I don't remember how many miles was on this. I don't remember. But you want to look at this pin for any wear here. Looks really good. Like I say, this pin is what keeps this stable. So if you get wear on one side, this is going to be leaning. So you don't want that. You want to get your little spring out of here. That's what keeps that pin lifted up out of the body and keeps it all the way to the top. If you drop it without that spring in there, this pin sets down about here, and now the pin's only supporting half of the slide. So that spring is designed to keep that all the way to the top. So if you leave it out, the pin's going to fall down to there. Now we have a slide that has no stability. So real critical right there, guys. Of course, we have our seal retainer. We always glue it back in because you see it pulls off with your hand. Doesn't take much to get it off there. But if you glue it in, glue the seal in, glue that retainer on, it takes a lot to blow that seal out, guys. Plus the new pump design, this bushing goes up to a ledge up inside here so it can't go towards the seal. So that was a really big update that GM did to these trannies. So. Okay. Now this is what we call a hard seal. Instead of a rubber seal that's just like a rubber band, the early design, this is what they updated to. And then they also got rid of the ring in the pump for the seal. So case is different. They had to cut it out for the seal to set down in here. If you ever look at a 700, it's just perfectly smooth right here, kind of chamfered. But here they had to cut this out and recess it. So. I like to get this anchor out of the band right here. That way we can just pull that drum right out. Should be able to pull it. And then we can come in here and get that out. Okay. We just got a narrow band. It's already smoked. Ain't much left of this thing at all. So we'll go back with a big old wide band in here. Gonna be looking at our reverse drum. Look at our reverse clutches. It's still really good. This drum looks really good. You always want to check it, make sure it's level all the way across there. It's not bowed or anything like that. You want to come in and put a straight edge across here, all the way around. Shine your flashlight, make sure it ain't bowed in or anything like that. This drum looks really good. You know, a lot of people ask me, Richard, how do you get that bushing out of this drum? The first one's real simple. Let me find all my bushing drivers. I got them everywhere. Where'd it go? That's 14. Where'd my 12? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Anyway, I was looking right at it. Okay. The bottom bushing is real easy to get out. You can just basically just knock it out. Real simple. We'll come over here. We will open a bushing bag real quick. Go for the bushing. Just like this. We're going to take and wipe the drum out. We got a brand new bushing. We're going to set it in here. I'm going to grab my oversized bushing driver because I want it to go in straight. So I'm going to set here, that bushing, put it in perfectly flat. I'm going to wipe my bushing driver off real quick. Normally I'd clean it on solvent, just give you an idea. We're going to put this back down in here. I'm going to recess it that much. But what I do, I know you guys got time because everybody tells me they do. Excuse me, Peyton, let me get over here really quick. Grab me my hammer. Excuse me. I'm going to take these rings off, this pump real quick. Stator. When I take them off, it makes it easy for me to get the drum on and off. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take and put this washer right here, back on here. I'm going to take and set this drum on there, just like that. I'm going to look and see what my bushing looks like. Make sure it's not too far down. Make sure our washer's on there, looks good. It fits good. Put it back like that. And also I have a stator over here that I use that I put back in here to check. Make sure it goes in good. Okay, now the critical bushing. This bushing right here, everybody says, Richard, how do you get this bushing out? You can use a cutter. If you use a cutter, you're going to damage it. I have cutters here that I use to cut my bushings out. And see how close this bushing is right here to this? You're going to mess it up. It's hard to cut out. Even a bushing cutter, you got to be careful. But actually, you're not going to believe what I use, guys. See this right here? This thing is what I use only. Another thing I use for this bushing. I'm going to come in here. You got to be careful, but you don't want it to jump up because if you hit it too hard, you can come in here and this screwdriver will hit right here. And if it hits where the sealing ring runs, you run the drum. Okay? So what I'm going to do, normally I try to look for the opening of the bushing. If you can't find it, just come in here like this. What I do is I want to put a dent in it just like that. That's all I want to do. Now I'm going to take this drum, I'm going to turn it over. See that dent I put in it right there? Now I can take my screwdriver and hit it right there and knock it out. Now watch this. I'm going to turn it where she probably can't see it. Can you bring that camera around here and kind of shine in there as I tap that bushing out? Can you see that bushing right here? Kind of, sort of. Because I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put this right on that bushing and I'm going to hit it. Look at that. 2 little whacks. It come right out. That's how simple that gets, right? But this is where you run into a problem, guys. GM, when they put these bushings in, they scarred the heck out of these drums right here. This drum might not be scarred at all, and look at it, it's not. You can see a little bit here, but let me tell you guys, sometimes these got big old massive scarring in here, and if you don't take a cutter and clean that scarring up and get that out of there and you put that new bushing in there, the stator that I used will seize down. It will not. You'll have to come in here and try to hone that bushing to get that to fit back down in there. It will not go. So here we got our new bushing. We're going to just clean it with a little bit of air for right now. Get it out of there. We're going to set that bushing right in there. This bushing is chamfered right there and right there. Always look for the best side and set it in there just like that. Got my bushing driver. I'm going to blow it off. And now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put this bushing in. Now it's all the way flush. I'm going to come in here and put this in here and see if it turns. Look at that. Really nice. Now if you left that slag on there when that old bushing was pressed in, I'm telling you, this will not go in. You're going to put it in, you're going to beat it in there, and you're going to seize it up and fight it. You're going to knock the bushing out, go find you another bushing, clean all that up. That's how you do it. So I'm just telling you, that bushing right there, that's how you put that in there. Don't cut it. Knock it out, bend it over, just like that, and then get in there with a screwdriver on the bend side and hit it and just push it out. Real simple. So there you go. Okay. Now we're going to get in here to our drum here. You can see here with the old reverse clutch has already started eating on it. So the drum's got to be replaced. It's in really bad shape. That clutch is that bottom clutch in that drum just eating the heck out of this drum. So then we get over here. Right, you want to look at this here. This is our 3/4 clutch. It's just totally burned up. Now it's just a standard clutch. And you can come in and look here, you can see how the teeth already wore off too. Yeah, they're just starting to dissipate. And of course the clutch pack is totally wore out. And you want to see some sad looking load springs, guys. I'd say there's no more load left. That thing is gone. Of course we have our backing, or our ply plate. So if these are good, we keep them. That way we can use the Alto 14 clutch kit. Because when you get your Alto kit, it does not come with this plate, and you have to reuse your original plate. So that's something you need to remember. Now, if you buy a Z-Pack, now they come with everything you need in the box. Peyton, does this tranny stink?
Yes.
It stinks very bad, doesn't it, young lady? Because we have our underdrive clutch. We have our forward clutch here. All in good shape still. This little bearing right here, guys, I've talked many, many times about this thing. About a winding, park, and neutral. You always want to check it. Make sure that it's in good shape. Same way down in here, you got all your bonded pistons. Let me get this out real quick. Kind of hard to, I'm in the way. Okay, but we got the snap ring off here. Pull our springs out. Pull our bonded pistons out. We're going to go down in here and pull this little tiny orange O-ring out real quick. Stuck down in that groove. Like I said, this drum's no good. The shaft's still good, but the drum, when they wear it like that, they're just going to keep making metal, so you got to get rid of it. Same way these bonded pistons, guys. These are the #1 killers of this tranny, too. These shrunk pistons and stuff. So if the ledges ain't sticking out very good, get rid of them. Best thing to do is just buy a kit that comes with all the bonded pistons and just do it right the first time. So same way here, you want to look here, Scotch-Brite all this stuff up here and here. That way it has, these pistons have new places to run. Man, this thing looks... Let me clean this up for just a second. This kind of looks a little different. I was just seeing all this roughness right there. See all that? I didn't know if that was a crack or that's what that is right there. Probably be replaced because it's only in one spot. You see it there too, kind of. So I don't know. There's something don't feel good. It caught my glove like it was going to cut my glove. You see it through there too. So
You can hear it.
yeah, just get rid of that right off the bat. If you think it's bad, it's probably bad. Don't even take a chance with it. Your first instinct, if it's bad, then just do it. Don't even mess with it. Of course, we have a 4-pinion planet. Want to look for any purple pins, any pitting, both sides of the gears. You know, look at this roller clutch hub. It's always going to be good here. It never wears here anymore. It always wears on the splines. So that's just a common, that's just something that's going to be put in every unit you do. You can see there, they're already starting to wear. Real common problem. Clunky noise, reverse to drive, just popping, all kinds of stuff you'll hear from that right there. Get in here. The shell, now this is a later version. The shell is a hardened factory shell, but we're still going to put an updated shell in it that we use. So, same way here with our sun gear. You're going to look on both sides. Looks really good. And come in here and get our lower planetary assembly out. Get my little hook screwdriver. I need the patent. Got our anti-clunk spring. Get our last bearing out, which goes right here, our little ball. It does go in here. I didn't know if I've ever told anybody that, but there is a check ball that does go right here. So, if you left it out, it wouldn't even know it, so doesn't matter since you blocked the accumulator and stuff anyway. So, you can look at your lower sprag assembly. Look for any pitting, any chattering. Looks good. Scotch Brite it up. Scotch Brite your friend. Check for your roller clutch, see if it's destroyed, bad shape or anything like that. Just remember, anytime you put these in, the spring always pushes the roller uphill. You can put this in backwards so easy that, come on. Just remember, the spring always pushes the roller uphill. If you notice this has an uphill. The spring always pushes the roller uphill. If you put it in like that, or excuse me, like that, you're in trouble. So be careful. Always check to say another thing. If you have to change this piece out, they do to make 2 different thicknesses right here too. I've explained that in 100 videos, so you gotta be really careful. This is a thin one. They make a thick. We're going to look at our lower reverse clutches. We do have a wave in it, which it will stay in it. We have our lower planetary assembly. Check for any wobbling. You know, it's crazy, guys. Sometimes you can get trannies in here with a ton of metal in them, take them apart, and the hard parts look brand new. I don't know how that is. I can get trannies in here that have very little damage, hard or clutch damage, and the tranny just be destroyed hard part wise. So it's kind of crazy. You'd have thought when we took this apart that we'd have found all kinds of damage to this thing, but really it's pretty minimum. So pretty nice. Now we have been seeing a lot of wear on these lower ring gears on this side of the tooth. This side here is a co side, not much, but this drive side we have been seeing the wear. And we've been seeing it high up on the tooth here, a lot of pitting. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't have my glasses on either to see it good, but I can kind of see pitting already in some of these teeth. So Planet looks good. It's kind of crazy that the ring gear can be eat up. The teeth in the Planet still look brand new. So not too shabby. Going to be a fun build. The autopsy table is kind of dirty, but we're going to get her cleaned up, ready for the next one. So you guys don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned. Tons of videos to come. We're enjoying what we're doing. Y'all have a great day. Let's go home, Peyton. It's tired.